The regular council meeting to order. Everybody stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, take the roll.
Mayor O'Connor.
Here.
Morissette.
Here.
Holmes.
Here.
DeZio.
Here.
Brooke.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a point of personal privilege?
Sure.
Before we go into the first agenda item, which is comments and suggestions from citizen presence. I've noticed a little bit of misinformation out there in public purview, and I feel like as council president, it is my duty to clarify a little bit around comments and suggestions. About a year ago, we all had this conversation as a council. By consensus of council, we changed to limit public comments from citizens present. And because the mayor runs the meeting, he outlines the limitation of those public comments, but he's actually doing direction by council that was done by consensus actually about a year ago now. So I just wanted to clarify before we go into public comments where the limitation is coming from in the history.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. All right, so leads right into citizen comments. So once again, this is an opportunity for citizens to comment on issues that they would like to discuss, have discussed in the future. Keep in mind, there are some parameters here. Number one, you cannot talk to any issue that is on the agenda tonight. Keep your comments brief. If you would, please try not to repeat what other people have said. And if you would, please give your name and where you live when you come up to speak. Is there anyone who'd like to make a comment? Is there anyone who would like to make a comment? Is there anyone who would like to make a comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next part of the agenda. Oh, that's right. The ambassadors wanted to talk during the citizen comments. Is that right? Yep. Well, we closed citizen comments, but you can come on up and welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So we're the Hudson Ambassadors, and we are crowned at the beginning of July. And our job in the community is we get to help out everyone. So you'll see us at lots of events downtown. And then we also go to neighboring communities and hang out with other royalty. And then we also are part of parades where we get to dance on our Hudson Bell and just represent and meet a whole bunch of different people. And then we'll now introduce ourselves and talk about one of our favorite events that we were fortunate enough to experience this year.
So I'm Sydney, and one of my favorite events was Oktoberfest, and we did attend it in October, and it was just super fun because we got to meet all of new courts that we weren't really super close with, and then there was a lot of people because it was a super long parade, so it lasted like an hour and a half, and there was just crazy amounts of people in the crowds, and there was little kids that were super excited to meet us and see us, and it was just a really rewarding experience to be able to have kids look up to us and be like a role model for them.
All right, and then I'm Megan, and my favorite event was the Hudson Community Expo, which was done at the high school. And basically what it was just a bunch of businesses in Hudson came together at the high school, and it was kind of an opportunity for them to show their stuff and everything that they do throughout the community. And it was just really cool because all of those businesses were just in one place, and it was easy access for everyone in the community of Hudson to see all those businesses. And they did a really good job incorporating us into it and showing us everything that they do through Hudson, so it was just a very cool experience.
My name is Paige, and my favorite event was our Cambridge Snowflake Festival, which was at the end of November, and it was our Christmas-themed festival. So it completely transformed our float into a gingerbread house. We added a whole bunch of lights and different types of candy, and then we got to dance Christmas songs on our float. And that was just a really cool experience because it was freezing cold, and we just had to bear through it. But to see all the kids scream and be like, "Oh my gosh, gingerbread houses!" It was really a fun experience.
And then my name is Sophia, and one of my favorite events was the Candlelight Stroll here in downtown Hudson. It was really cool to just observe all the small businesses and see all the little dancers in the windows. It was really cool, along with meeting so many people in our community, and just being out and about was really cool to just be involved in that scene. And again, being downtown with all the lights was kind of magical, so it was really cool to be there and just see our community and be there to represent it. So we just wanted to thank Hudson for their support for our program, because it really allows us to get out in the community and just show what Hudson is about, and being able to represent that is a huge honor. So we thank you guys very much for that.
Thank you. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one second. Do you have anybody here that with you that could take a picture?
Yes, Susan.
Thanks. Why don't you come in here? Let's try to get the whole council here.
You did the last one.
Look at me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Why don't you? Okay, there you go.
Perfect. Smile through the mask.
We're all smiling here.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I can't tell you how proud we are to be able to sponsor the ambassadors every year. And this organization has done a great job in representing Hudson wherever they go. And we look forward to the new group every year. So thanks again for all you do in representing Hudson. I know you're doing a good job, and keep up the good work. See you in the parades.
Thank you.
All right. World Migratory Day?
I got this one. World Migratory Bird Day. Whereas migratory birds are some of the most beautiful and easily observed wildlife that share communities, and whereas many citizens recognize and welcome migratory songbirds as symbolic harbingers of spring, and whereas these migrant species also play an important economic role in our community, controlling insect pests and generating millions in recreational dollars statewide, and whereas migratory birds and their habitats are declining throughout the Americas, facing a growing number of threats on their migration route and in both their summer and winter homes, and whereas public awareness and concern are crucial components of migratory bird conservation, and whereas citizens enthusiastic about birds, informed about the threats they face, and empowered to help address those threats can directly contribute to maintaining healthy bird populations, and whereas since 1993, World Migratory Bird Day has become a primary vehicle for focusing public attention on the nearly 350 species that travel between nesting habitats in our communities and throughout North America and their wintering grounds in South and Central America, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Southern U.S. And whereas hundreds of thousands of people will observe World Migratory Bird Day, gathering in town squares, community centers, schools, parks, nature centers, and wildlife refuges to learn about birds, take action to conserve them, and to simply have fun. And whereas, while World Migratory Bird Day officially is held each year on the second Saturday in May, its observance is not limited to a single day, and planners are encouraged to schedule activities on the dates best suited to the presence of both migrants and celebrants. And whereas World Migratory Bird Day is not only a day to foster appreciation for wild birds and to celebrate and support migratory bird conservation, but also a call to action. Now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Rich O'Connor, City of Hudson, Wisconsin, does hereby proclaim May 14th, 2022 as World Migratory Bird Day. There you go.
Well done. Thank you.
Making Roz read that next year.
All right. Also, we have the Michael Ellwood Eagle Scout recognition. Whereas Michael joined Cub Scouts in first grade and continued with Cub Scouts, earning his Arrow of Light and transitioning to Boy Scouts Troop 148 in Hudson. And whereas Michael worked diligently to earn merit badges and rank advancements, taking on more responsibility, serving as Assistant Patrol Leader, Den Chief, and Assistant Senior Patrol Leader. And whereas Michael has also been a model student, receiving an academic pin for having a GPA of 10.0 or above during his first semester, and his goal is to achieve a pin every year and graduate high school with academic distinction, along with serving on the student council. When Michael graduates from high school, he intends to attend a four-year college and would like to join the military to serve as two of his grandfathers and great-grandfather did before him. And whereas Michael has done numerous volunteer activities in the greater Hudson community, culminating in his completion of his Eagle Scout project, where he led a team of scouts to build a batting helmet and bat boxes for the Hudson Boosters. And whereas Michael's hard work and actions exemplify living by the golden rule, and now therefore I, Rich O'Connor, Mayor of the City of Hudson, do hereby thank Michael Ellwood for all he has done for our community and encourage others to follow this young man's example. Michael, stand up, please. Do you want a picture?
Good job, Michael. Good work.
Michael, great. Congratulations. Nice job.
Great job.
Thanks. That's the fun part always, right, for the job.
Absolutely.
All right, consent agenda.
Approve the meeting minutes from the January 18th, 2022 regular council meeting and the January 27th, 2022 special council meeting. Approve council claims in the amount of $826,989.98. Approve the purchase of a speed display unit. Approve the hiring of administrative assistant election specialist. Approve the reallocation of the 2022 capital improvement funds for public works equipment. Approve the advertisement for bid for the purchase of the 2023 single axle plow truck. Approve the appointment of Carl Olson to the Police and Fire Commission. Approve the 2021 Builder Inspector's Annual Report. Approve the proposal for Sammy Ditloff to produce the city newsletter.
Can you pull that one, please?
Approve the application for a retail Class B beer and Class B liquor license to Stark Raving LLC. Approve the final development plans for Hudson Sports and Civic Center at 1820 Hanley Road, the Hudson Hockey Association.
Move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and second to approve with the exception of, what number was it?
5.9.
5.9.
5.9. All right, everybody good on that? Motion second to approve, roll call?
Morissette?
Yes.
Alms?
Yes.
DeZiel?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Motion's approved, consent agenda is approved. Item 5.9, Randy?
Asked to have it pulled. Let me make it very clear. I support the newsletter. I support Sammy, but I do not support where it initially was going to be funded. It came out of Finance Committee with being operated out of the general fund instead of room tax dollars. So I move to approve it that way.
I'll second that.
We got a motion second, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, can I do a point of personal privilege?
Yes.
So I didn't want to pull this item to slow us down, but I did want to point out in the building inspector's report that I think our city staff is doing a whale of a job. So I want to just give credit to David Gray and also to his assistant, Rhett Borner. Just so the public knows, if I'm reading this correctly, there was 414 building permits issued last year to a value of $42.67 million. And that involved, get this, a staggering 3,436 inspections. I don't even know how we can do that in a year. So, David, my hat is off to you. My hat is off to Rhett. Thank you for the fine job that you're doing and keeping our community growing. So I just wanted to recognize that.
Excellent. Good job, guys. Thanks, Paul. Discussion possible action on ethics code.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to discuss this. And this really came to light after our recent code of ethic violations that were brought forward. And I think all of us have spent a substantial amount of time looking at our code of ethics and have read it a lot in the last couple of months. And really the spot where I would like us to spend some significant time on reviewing and maybe revising is 37.8, the administration function. And in that function, it talks about due process, and due process involves giving notice, the ability for folks to respond, and to be judged by an impartial group. And that is where I think what could be beneficial for us is looking at starting a board of ethics, of impartial people who would review who the complaints would come to, and they would review and make a recommendation back to council on how to proceed. There are a number of cities throughout the United States that have a board of ethics, and I'm happy to share those with our city employees. But I am asking that we reevaluate our code of ethics specifically with the administrative functions.
Okay.
I've given some thought to this as well. Obviously, what we had to go through. I'd like to see us, and obviously your opinions of value, to go on a third party to redo our work ethic, or our ethics code. So it takes us out of it, or whoever's sitting in these chairs. Let it be a non, controversial person, some outside firm, I guess. That you could take from room tax.
So really that honoring that impartiality,
Correct.
which I think is super important as well.
It takes the administration, it takes the staff, and it takes us out of the issue. And I think it should be presented to us, and then we can go through it then. It's probably well past due.
So I'm thinking I'm hearing two different things.
Well, so Councilmember Morissette, if I understand you correctly, what you are proposing is that the code of ethics would go out to a neutral party and that we would ask them to bring a draft back to us. And I am asking that we specifically make sure that we address the administrative function, which is where we perhaps had some weakness in the past. And I think I can make peace with us starting with having an outside source bring
Yes.
something back to us.
And I guess to clarify, my outside source is being a professional company, firm, to look at it and present it back to us with the review of the administrative part, but going through it all.
All right, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, if it would help any, actually, the League of Wisconsin Municipalities Insurance Trust that we're a member of, they do have an attorney that specializes in these sort of ethics issues across the state. Since they're our insurer, they would represent the city if there is an issue, whatever. And in talking with this attorney, I believe she might be a very good resource that is not affiliated with us in any way other than she is part of that League of Wisconsin Municipalities Insurance Trust. So I think it would make sense for us to use our insurer and their attorney to take a look at our ordinance and make some recommendations. Since if there ever was an issue, they'd be the ones that would be dealing with it for us. So.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll move that we seek outside, I don't know if we need to do an RFP or.
I think we can just reach out and get some ideas. But I think, like I said, I think I'll probably focus first with the league attorney, and we'll see if that looks okay, and when we bring it back, and if not, we can always look at other places. But to me, that seems to be the best source we could use.
Move for that and to address our ethics code and in particular 37.8 administrative, but to methodically go through the whole code and then bring it back for a presentation to us.
Okay,
And I will second that, Councilmember Morissette.
Thank you.
all right, we got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Bill?
Yeah, I just had a point of clarification that you had mentioned, Councilperson Brooke. You had said having a review of an impartial throughout that process. Is that something that, am I reading that correctly? That if something came forward as an ethics complaint, that body would take it on? Is that what part of this is, or is this
Not this motion.
not this motion, right?
A number of cities have set up a board of ethics, and I have several of those that I'm happy to share. I've just done a cursory look, not in-depth study,
Sure.
but they have a board of roughly 5 impartial folks that would take the complaint in, make an evaluation, and make a recommendation back to the council on how to proceed. And it goes to the council to make the final choice.
Gotcha. And then this is just a first step.
This is a
motion.
first-
I just wanted to clarify.
I think this is a first step at a neutral party bringing a recommendation back to us on a completely revised code of ethics.
Great. Thank you.
Everybody good, Sarah, if you would shoot that over to Aaron. so that he
I
can
would.
get out to everybody.
I will happily send those to you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on amending City Code Chapter 201, massage business.
As I mentioned in the memo, this came up with our most recent license that we noticed in our code that the requirement is that you have to be a U.S. citizen, where it really should be that the requirement is that it's a U.S. citizen or a resident alien who is legally able to own and operate a business. We want to make sure we clarified that so we didn't have a extra level of hindrance that was not necessary in our ordinance.
A move to suspend the rules.
Second?
Motion is second to suspend the rules. Roll call.
Morissette?
Yes.
Alms?
Yes.
DeZiel?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Rules are suspended.
Move to adopt ordinance number 3-22.
Second.
Motion is second to adopt. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Discussion and possible action on Resolution 3-22, forming work group for potential rail bridge project.
This has been something that's, I think, been ongoing for a long time, as far as trying to figure out connection points and things like that for an expanded trail system that would cross over into North Hudson, potentially the long-term goal to link up with other regional trail systems. And so all this resolution is doing is committing the city to participate in the process to see what we can develop, what would be feasible with the rail bridge, and try to partner with the county and the village and see if we can't get something done. This also then will help the group that's spearheading this also apply for some funding and assistance and things like that by showing that they have the support of the city. And I know that the village and the county are also being looked at to do these resolutions. So staff definitely supports moving this forward and ask for approval.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion is second to suspend the rules. Roll call.
Morissette?
Yes.
Alms?
Yes.
DeZiel?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Rules are suspended.
Move to adopt resolution 3-22.
Second.
Got a motion is second to adopt. Discussion.
Just one point of clarification. So this is 322, but the previous ordinance
Was an ordinance.
Was that, right, exactly.
We're just lining them up right now for some reason, but yep.
Understood.
I just want to say this is I think it's a really interesting opportunity. I think it's, there's been a lot of work put into it. I know I walked this with the park board chair and several months ago to get a sense of what it would potentially could look like. And I think it'd be a great thing for the city. I think it'd be a great thing for the county. I think it'd be a great thing for the village. I know there's a lot of question marks still out there in terms of property, in terms of, is it feasible? There's a lot of questions out there in terms of what things would cost and obviously who would pay for them. But I just like the idea of, taking this initial step to see what funding is out there, to see what we could do in terms of cooperating. There's good potential, I think, and I think we just take the next step, which is what this resolution's calling for, so I'm in favor of it.
Anybody else?
I'm in favor of this as well. I'm excited about the opportunity to create more ways for people to enjoy the great outdoors and specifically our beautiful river. And I think it would be amazing if we could get these 3 government entities together and show what cooperation looks like. So I find it to be super exciting and very hopeful for our future.
Anybody else?
Lots of people worked on it, and some of them are here, so thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
My only concern, I think it's great, is the environmental and remediation impact on it and what drives the cost up. Just to keep that on the burner, but it could be potentially a lot of creosote was out there and amongst other things.
Hopefully there are grants to cover much of that. Anyway, yeah, I'm very much in favor of this too. I think that it's really an excellent opportunity for the area, not just for the city, but for the whole area.
Okay, we all good? All those in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, opposed? Motion's approved. Closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 sub 1 sub G to confer with legal counsel and receive advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the city with regard to litigation in which the city is likely to become involved relating to the state of Wisconsin's Highway 35 project. Do we have a motion?
Move into closed session.
Second.
Got a motion and second to go into closed session. Is this a roll call? No. No, for some reason I just spaced on that one. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. We'll go into closed session. We'll step across the hall.
Hi there. I would like to make a motion to direct our city attorney to draft a letter to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation requesting a meeting to formally review our concerns with the Highway 35 project as outlined from our city engineer.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I don't have anything. Anybody?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Came quick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.